Hey, it's been a minute. I've been busy on the road, and recently I have an opportunity to share some stories about hospitality, the reason why I'm so passionate about it. And I was inspired to share some of that with you. So hang on, here we go. I'm talking today about times when I've experienced great hospitality. So let's think about moments of hospitality as interactions between the host, the person who's giving service, and the guest, the person who's receiving service. And lots of times in those little moments, we make connections that are super meaningful and really effective when we talk about creating loyalty and generating repeat business. So I want to share a story with you today about a wake-up call. So a long time ago, before we all traveled with smartphones in our pockets, if you stayed in a hotel, you needed to have a way to wake up the next day. You didn't want to miss your meeting, you didn't want to be late for reservations, so you basically had two choices. The first choice was you could set the alarm clock on the hotel phone and hope that the clock itself was actually set for AM and not PM. Or perhaps the easiest thing to do would be to call the front desk or dial into your phone your wake-up call. I'd like you to wake me up at 6:30 a.m. Pretty simple, right? I pretty much always used the wake-up call option. And here's the deal. I would set the time and I would expect a wake-up call the next day. The hotel was going to meet my expectation by providing the wake-up call. And it normally went down something like this. The next morning, the phone would ring and I would pick it up, expecting to hear, "Good morning, this is your wake-up call." It was pretty effective, right? Until one day, I was in Seattle, Washington, and I stayed at the Warwick. Checked in, I went to my room, I picked up the phone and I punched in 6:30 a.m. The next morning, I expected a wake-up call. I knew they would meet my expectation. And in fact, the phone did ring at 6:30. But imagine my surprise. Instead of hearing, "Good morning, this is your wake-up call," what I heard was James Brown. "Ha! I feel good, na 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 na. I knew that I would, na 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 na." The Warwick Hotel didn't just meet my expectation for a wake-up call. They exceeded all my expectations. They created a wow moment for me. How wow was it? Well, here we are. It's 25 years later, and I'm still talking about a hotel wake-up call. So listen, you can meet a guest's expectation, you can provide a wake-up call, or you can exceed their expectation, create that moment of wow. What's your James Brown moment for your guests, for the people you're serving in hospitality? It doesn't have to be a big gesture. It certainly doesn't have to cost a lot of money. But when you think about delivering outstanding service, the kind of hospitality that's going to build loyalty, that's going to have guests coming back to you time and time again, what could you do in that moment to just bring James Brown? I challenge you to think about that as hospitality providers. Let's bring more wow into hospitality.